You'll often hear when people are discussing healthy river systems the importance of a meander pattern. And I think a lot of times what people are focused on in those discussions is the left to right pattern that forms pool, riffle, and run. But there's another type of meander that can only be caused by beaver dams and large debris jams. And that is this, if you look, I'm going to look straight upstream here. Channels coming in from the left and the right, very low flow rate here. And then we have this area, this was bank. And this beaver dam has elevated the stream bed by 150 centimeters, maybe 120. It's over a meter. And what that has done is it has allowed the water in this floodplain, or this river, to push back and back flood a much greater portion of the floodplain. This river is coming straight at us here. It's hitting this beaver dam. And then the water is kind of gurgling through here. But a lot of it is actually flowing almost backwards on the other side of this little island. And it's going well in there towards that large maple tree, about 60 meters. And as I walk downstream where there's another beaver dam, it's doing the exact same thing. And in fact, the two channels that we have here coming in are actually a product of this exact same phenomenon upstream. Now, I've been walking this section of stream on and off a couple times a year for about 10 years. And it used to be a single threaded channel that was just full of alders. It was very difficult to walk through. And the beavers moved in about 7 years ago. Large trees are beginning to accumulate in the channel as well, which is amplifying the effects. And this floodplain is getting rehydrated. It's bone dry outside of the floodplain right now. May had 50% of the expected rainfall. The soil is bone dry, it's dust underneath the grass. And the grass in here, which is important for deer, ducks. Well, look, deer must have been in here. You can see there's been some significant grazing on that grass. Those early green shoots, very high in protein. That's exactly what deer need this time of year. And now upstream, we just missed, I think the beaver was coming down to do some work, and he heard me talking. He turned around, but anyway, this is just something I like to observe. You can see there's a small twig floating down. He's probably upstream, and what they do is they'll pick off the tender branches, they'll eat some, and then they'll just discard it kind of below. And what that'll do is it floats downstream to the dam, fetches up above it, and then they can pick at it from a nice safe spot, some deep water above it. Very intelligent creatures. And their main predator is the coyote. And so they have adapted against that. And one of those things is to stay in the water as long as possible. And beavers, another interesting fact that kind of builds on this point, is they never stop growing. So some of us have seen beavers, maybe 60, 70 pounds, some might say. Fairly large rodent. And apparently 200 or 300 years ago, when Europeans arrived on the continent of North America, there was beavers over twice that size. So you can just imagine what kind of impact they would have on the aquatic environment. So that's a short video, just checking in on a piece of recovering habitat. I should mention, we did digger log restoration in the more upland reaches of this channel, about 1 kilometer upstream. And that has been very successful, narrowed the channel up a lot. And then just at the same time we did that, the beavers moved into this shallower gradient floodplain area. And we had trout spawning in here last fall, the last couple falls actually. And you can see all this gravel building up. This is all going to be water storage. As this whole floodplain hydrates, this is almost like the gravel you have at the bottom of the well or in an aquifer. This is all going to hold water as the landscape rehydrates. And it's actually, water stays a lot cooler when it's transported through gravel underground than it does floating in the hot sun in the middle of the summer. So these processes have a real big impact on water temperature. That's been shown in studies. I've seen it myself. And that's about it, folks. Short video on the wonders of my friend the beaver and just some natural recovery occurring in this channel.